Remain standing for our invocation.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, God, Lord, we thank you for this beautiful day. Bless us with it, Lord. We thank you for this opportunity to be here tonight. God, I pray that you will just give wisdom and discernment as decisions are made. Lord, I pray that you be with those in the western part of the state, other parts of the region, Lord, who are dealing with devastation. God, I pray that you would just give peace during this time. I pray that you be with the first responders, those who are there to help, that you would just keep everyone safe. Lord, as always, I pray that your name be glorified in all circumstances. Pray that you continue to bless our community, Lord. Bless our first responders, emergency services. Pray that you keep all of us in the palm of your hand, Lord. Protect us, keep us safe, guide, guard, direct us. We thank you for your many blessings, most of all, to give your Son the salvation you brought with you. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, God.
Okay.
First off, I'd like to thank everyone for being here. It's good to look out and have a council chamber full of people. So it means that you're here, concerned, and people on the line watching us now. If you can't make it, we live stream it, so if you can't make it, maybe you can watch us online. Council staff, you see the announcements. Are there any additions or corrections to the announcements? Council, adjustments to the agenda. Are there any adjustments to the agenda from council or staff?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to pull off on the consent agenda, item B, 1B. I'd like to pull that off and put that wherever you want to put it on here.
One B.
Yes, sir. Where do you want to add that? Can we add it towards the top, maybe, like, maybe, can we make it, number 4?
Number 4.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Make an adjustment. Do I hear entertain a motion to accept and move it to that?
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimous. Thank you, council. Next portion is our public comment, and this agenda item is included to allow input to the city council from any citizen who wishes to address council without request to be on the agenda. Those who wish to address city council are required to provide their name, address, including city or county of residence, and topic. Speakers shall be courteous in their language and presentation. Any disruption of the meeting, insults, personal attacks, accusations, profanity, vulgar language, inappropriate gestures, or other inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated. If this occurs, the person will be identified and asked to stop or leave. If the behavior continues and they refuse to leave, they will be removed from the council meeting. Speaker will be allowed 3 minutes to speak. Number of speakers on the topic related to further advertised public hearing matters may be limited at the council's discretion. Council reserves the right to request a designated spokesperson for a large group. The spokesperson will be allowed 6 minutes. Public session will be limited to 30 minutes. The council will only listen and not respond, but may decide to place a topic on a future agenda. So at this time, I'll open up public comment. And the first person we have up here is Kathy Loveday.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council members. I just wanted to say thank you for all the help that you all gave for Kingfest this past Saturday. And the staff that is here and also the maintenance staff and park staff that prepared the grounds and everything for Kingfest. And we had a great turnout. It was a great afternoon. The weather was perfect. Everything was really great. But I just wanted to say thank you to the city for providing such a nice place for us to have that event. Thank you.
For all you've done with it. You were over there Thursday night, all day Friday, all day Saturday.
I lived at the park.
Now you got a little breather, right? Thank you, Kathy. Council have any, thing you'd like to say?
I'd like to thank Kathy for what she did. It was a really beautiful, we were blessed with the most beautiful day, and I thank you so much for all your hard work.
I wanted to thank my staff, my committee also for all the work that they did too in preparing.
Was that the largest amount of vendors you've ever had? It had to be close if it wasn't.
probably.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Good
We
job.
changed it around because we did away with the car show.
Yeah.
And you estimate how many people?
I have no idea. When people ask me that, I have no idea.
How many vendors did you have?
We had like 130, I think, or something.
130.
Yeah.
That was great. Thank you, Kathy. Next up is Becky Sargent.
I'm Becky Sargent. I live on Timmy's Lane. I don't know if you want to discuss the PUD at this, am I supposed to, I mean, we were concerned, and I took pictures about the flooding and runoff, and we wanted to make sure that the council and the city managers and planning take all this into consideration. We've lived there for 45 years, and it has steadily gotten worse. But the pictures, who would like to see the pictures? This is the flooding in our backyard when it rains. And we live right behind the church. That one is a better picture. And you can see the runoff. It comes down the hill, and this is like the flooding that we have. And there's nothing when it's not raining. There's no issue at all. But we were concerned that the developer has not really examined the layout of the landscape to understand the drainage issue that we already have. And we want to make sure that the city manager, planning, and council understand and take this up to wherever you need to take it to make sure that this developer is taking care of the city. And, and it's eroding down. This is behind the church up here. And it's a real big slope that comes down the hill. And looking at their plans, it's a little confusing about how they're planning on handling that area and the drainage. And they're talking about adding maybe 1,000 more cars in that one area if they have 440 places for people to live, which they have a multiple different type things. You add 2, that's 880 in this one little area, and that would be a low number. And the streets are not designed to handle that where we live. I mean, it's not as wide as it needs to be. You'd have to do a lot of stuff there. But I'm just bringing this to you to make sure that somebody's looking at this a whole lot harder than just starting it. And we'd like to see the plans, the detailed plans, whenever they come available, so that we can really see what the plan is. This is what it looks like when there's no rain. So you can see there's no issues when it's not raining. We've done all we can to control the flow as it comes now when it comes, because we put the rock bed down to make it rain and try to control as much as we can the flow. But we're at the top of the hill. I would hate to be at the bottom of the hill whenever you see the water that's coming through our yard. So, anyway, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Is there anything that I need to say?
And then we'll keep those photos if you don't mind.
That's fine, that's
Can we
fine.
keep
I've got
those?
plenty of them. And that's over several, I mean, it's been for years. It's steadily gotten worse, which, you know, climate change and everything else. But the trees are falling more often in that area, and which is causing more holes for the water to pull up and drain. So, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
You're very welcome. Thank you for listening.
You know you're always welcome to come and speak. This is your city.
This makes me very nervous.
Thank you.
With no one else signed up for public comment, we'll close that section. The next part of our meeting is the consent agenda. The consent agenda is the first order of business. Items listed are believed to be non-controversial and administrative in nature. There will be no separate discussions on these items unless a councilman requests or a citizen requests and is granted permission to speak. The items will then be removed from the consent agenda and considered individually. Otherwise, all items will be enacted by one motion. Is there anything that council would like to pull off the consent agenda to discuss separately?
Just, Mr. Mayor, I just pulled off 1B earlier.
Right.
Yes.
We'll put that as number 4.
Okay.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda. We're going to move 1B to number 4.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Unanimous? So now we need a motion to accept the agenda as presented, which we've already done that. Agenda, we're on number 2. Number 2, on our agenda today is a really good thing. We get to introduce some of our new employees. And the city council has directed that all newly hired employees be introduced at our meeting. So I think we've got 3 new employees here. So, who wants to introduce your new worker?
Mayor, Council, this is Cameron Rollins. She comes to us from, actually, she got from the family here today.
Yep.
We got Jacob here, he's already working for utilities. He introduced us to her, we interviewed her, she did fine, everything went good. She's training very well. As of right now, she already went to school for sea surface, and her test is at the end of this month. So hopefully we'll have a certified operator at the end of this month, and she'll just continue on her 6-month probationary period. After that, she'll be full, ready to go, night shift operator.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome, Cameron.
Thank you. Good luck on your test. Thank you.
All boys. Hey, Mr. Sheriff.
This is our 2 new meat readers, Brandon Whitman and Matthew Cook. They've been with us a month, and they've been a real good addition to our department. They've come a long way in learning, picking up fast, so I'm glad to have them.
Thank you all for wanting to work at King.
Yes, sir.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it so much.
Thank y'all.
Next part of the meeting is the fun part. I always enjoy this. And I want to invite Patrick Suarez and his daughters up here. And I met Patrick at the powwow last year. And had a grand time. I've been to the powwow several times. And got to meet him last year. And then this year, helped with the powwow, and these lovely girls. So, but I was doing a proclamation for the American Indians, indigenous people, and we got so much to be thankful for them. If you've never made it to the powwow, you need to make it a priority next year to be able to go. And Patrick actually asked me, did the girls read the proclamation? So I said, I would be pleased to read the proclamation.
So before they read the proclamation,
Yes,
I
sir.
want to talk about what Indigenous Peoples' Day is
Yes, please.
to Native Americans. So let's read a little bit of it. So Indigenous Peoples' Day started about, it's a day of, it's not a holiday yet, but it's an unpaid holiday off. But people recognize this day, United States, various cities and states across the country. So it's basically to celebrate the indigenous people's culture, Native American culture, and the ongoing traditions that we do have. The importance of it, as we know, Columbus Day. Columbus did not discover America. He was lost at sea. But his accomplishments, the people, his ancestors, we do honor them for, the things that they came. But as Native Americans, we also observe that day. Some think it's a day of mourning. Some think, it's a day to reflect on our culture and how we're still here. So the origins of it, I think it's around 1977, was at a United Nations. A group of Native American delegates proposed a day to recognize and celebrate indigenous communities. And around the 1980s and 90s, the different states and cities start recognizing that day as Indigenous Peoples Day. Today, some cities have replaced Columbus Day with Indigenous Peoples Day, but many observe both days. Some of the things that you could do on that day, next Monday, is educational programs. We do a lot. Me and Mike, we have a 501c that we go to various, we put on the powwow here in King. We go to various schools. We do education programs in the month of October and November. That's different things that we do just to enlighten people about our existence, that we're still here as people. So I'm from the Meherrin tribe, which is a small little tribe on the eastern part of the state, about 4 hours away. We're an Iroquois tribe. We're a state-recognized tribes. And in North Carolina, when girls read this proclamation, you'll hear the other tribes. But we wanted to give honor also to the Native people that was actually in Stokes County, which would have been the Catawba and the Sherrall and the Sar town. So you have that actually Sar town up the road here. So, and I was telling the mayor tonight that for him doing this proclamation, and actually Springboard, the other cities in Stokes County, Rockingham, like Eden, Reedsville, Mayadon, we missing any more? And Madison, they're actually also following the footsteps of what King have started into their cities for the Indigenous Peoples Day. So we would like to thank King for having the opportunity to bring it here, and also thank everyone that supported the powwow this year. So we're gonna let the girls, they're gonna take turns, so they're gonna read it real loud. So, I gotta take a picture of it. Hold on, here we go. Y'all can come up right here. Right here.
Okay. Indigenous Peoples Day Proclamation 2024. Whereas American Indians have inhabited this continent for centuries, and from the first contact with English settlers, American Indians shared their knowledge of the land and its resources and have continued to play a vital role in the development of King City, the state of North Carolina, and the nation. Whereas North Carolina is home to over 130,000 American Indians, hailing from 8 distinct state-recognized tribes, including the Coharie, Eastern Band of Cherokee, Haliwa-Saponi, Lumbee, Meherrin, Occaneechi Band of Saponi, and Waccamaw. And whereas the city of King enjoys a positive relationship with its American Indian citizens, recognizes and encourages the acknowledgement of the history, contributions, and sacrifices that indigenous peoples, and honors and respects the rich culture and economic contributions that American Indians have made.
Whereas the City of King promotes the closing of the equality gap for indigenous peoples through police and practices that reflect the experience of indigenous people, ensure greater access and opportunity, and honor our nation's indigenous roots, history, and contributions.
Whereas Indigenous Peoples Day was first proposed in 1977 by Declaration of Native Nations to the United Nations during an international conference addressing discrimination against indigenous populations in the Americas. And now, therefore, I, Richard E. McCraw, as mayor of the City of King, North Carolina, and on behalf of the King City Council, do hereby proclaim Monday, October 14, 2024 as Indigenous Peoples' Day in the City of King and commend its observance to all citizens.
Oh.
We'll let the mayor hand it to you so he can take a picture.
It says, witness thereof, I hereto set my hand and cause the great city of the City of King to affix to this 7th day of October in the year of our Lord, 2024. So we'll just leave it here. Right here.
You hold it. You can take a picture of it. There you go.
Do that to you, and you can pull this one too if you like.
There you go. And we have something for you too. So, you hold this. This is actually one of the necklaces. And wampum is really something that we hold dear to our people here on the East Coast. And wampum was actually the first form of currency, if you did not know. And it's made out of a clamshell. So out of that clamshell, we actually made wampum belts, or treaty belts, that told a story. It was like a contract with the United States. And those treaty belts, so you can actually see those in the Native American Museum of History in D.C. from 1700s. These belts are still being made today. So this is just some wampum that the girls made. And I had some sage, but I think they left it in the car. So anyway, is this a necklace with wampum? There you go. We appreciate it, and we thank you. Once again, we thank the City of King.
I was really honored at the powwow this year. I had bought me an Indian flute several years ago and been playing it, about driving my wife crazy sometimes. And I play it up at our deer camp and to bring in the spirits to bring us a deer, and usually it works. And but they actually let me play my flute competition with them this year. The lady from the newspaper interviewed me, and I said, well, I didn't win, but I had a good time. So.
And one thing we'd like to say before, y'all probably already know Jim, Mr. Jim that passed at the American Legion. He was a really, he really actually helped bring the powwow to King. So, we think a lot of Jim. We thought a lot. He was there every year. We actually did an honor song for him this year while he was in the hospital. So, but we just want to take a moment, if y'all can, to if you think about Jim for a second, just a moment of silence.
We were at Jim's funeral yesterday, and they did an honorary song for Jim Rosen yesterday.
And I know he would have been proud of this, so, because he had Native American ancestry. So, okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Our next proclamation is very exciting too. I'm going to ask Mr. Brent Cromer to come forward, if you would. Y'all probably don't know Brent. He's just been around here a couple years now. Any of you that have been to the King Outreach or anywhere around, you see Brent. So we're very honored to be able to give you this proclamation today. And thank you, Wesley Carter, for bringing this to our attention. So, recognition of service, proclamation from the Office of the Mayor. Whereas King Outreach Ministries was established in 1984 and celebrated its 40th year of volunteer service to our community this year, and whereas the City of King desires to recognize and honor Brent Cromer for the dedication and distinguished service to the community, and whereas Brent has volunteered countless hours for the last 35 years. Throughout his years, he dedicated service to King Outreach Ministries. He's collected generous donations from citizens, grocery stores, many local locations throughout the city. Whereas Brent Cromer has earned the respect of the fellow volunteers, public officials community leaders and high regard of the area residents, all of whom are proud to call him friend. And now, therefore, I, Richard E. McCraw, by virtue of authority vested in me as mayor of the city of King, and on behalf of the city council and all of our citizens, do hereby exalt Brent Cromer our sincere appreciation for his outstanding performance of duty and service to our community. Witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the great city of King, and this 7th day of October, the year of our Lord, 2024.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, it's the team behind the whole team that's behind me that has made all that possible all these years.
Who in here works at King Outreach?
You know, Jerry Cromer and Andy, Judy, just tons of people. Mr. Bird, a lot of people.
And I think they've got something else they want to give to you, Brent.
We do. If you've got just a second, Mayor, if it's all right.
Yes, sir.
You stay up here. You don't have to leave.
Okay.
I'm not gonna kick you out.
I'm not gonna go up against you. If you want to kick me out, I'll volunteer.
So on behalf of King Outreach, we'd also like to present you with this. It says, with our deepest appreciation, we hereby honor Brent Cromer for your countless years given to King Outreach Ministry and your faithful dedication. You are deeply appreciated, cherished, and loved. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Matthew 25:21. October 7th, 2024, King Outreach Ministry. So we want to say thank you for all the time, the money, and the fuel, and everything else that you have invested in King Outreach Ministry. You have left quite a mark on this community and on the ministry itself. And so on behalf of King Outreach, we want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank everybody.
That's what makes this job so exciting. That part right there is worth it all. Okay, council, we pulled off number 1B, and we'll bring that forward now. This is a subject that PUD SU PUD 010 information, informative. So I think, John, you've got this.
Yes, sir. Tonight, I'm asking City Council to set a new public hearing date for SUPUD 010. Staff is recommending setting a new public hearing date for SUPUD 010 for November 4th, 2024, at our next scheduled City Council meeting at 6 p.m. City staff held a meeting with proposed builders, and it gives them extra time to prepare their case for you all. Budgetary impacts, setting a new hearing date will save the city $597.50 in newspaper ad fees, plus the cost associated with mailing abutting property owners. If you not recommend setting a public hearing date for November 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m. at City Hall.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion, council.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we set the public hearing date for SU PUD 010 for November 4th, our next city council meeting at 6 p.m.
Second. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimous. I'm gonna label that as 4A. To our, because our next one is 4B, that way it doesn't get us out of line. That's okay. Next, up on the docket, number 4B, will be public hearing, text amendment to City of King ordinance, and I'll open that up for public comment, and being no one signed up, I'll close that portion for public comment. And I think John, you've got this one.
Yes, sir. Tonight, I'm asking to approve text amendment of chapter 6, article 4, with amendments being adopted as ordinance number 2024-12. This has to do with the city's primary fire limits that were adopted in 1985. You look at in your maps on page 48, you can see the original City of King fire limits went all the way to the other side of 52. They encompassed all down Main Street. So I've spoken with fire and they agreed, and they actually helped revamp the map for the new fire limits. Basically what happened was in 1985, they came up with the fire limits, and due to the new building codes, and the fire limits are designed to prevent the fire from jumping from building to building, and we obviously don't have a problem with that. So we're encompassing the downtown areas, our new primary fire limits. Staff recommends approving ordinance number 2024-12 with changes to the City of King Code of Ordinances, Chapter 6, Building and Building Regulations, Article 4, Fire Limits as presented.
Council, is there any questions of Mr. Judge?
So this essentially moves it to B1 type areas are in that fire limits to keep things from jumping.
Exactly.
Okay.
Councilwoman Bowden?
No.
No. Councilman Bowden? Mayor Pro Tem? Any questions? Okay. I'll entertain a motion at this point.
I move for approval of text amendment of chapter 6, article 4 with amendments being adopted as ordinance 2024-12.
Here's a second.
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimously. Thank you, council. And I can close that portion of the public comment since we didn't have anybody. So consideration of budget amendment 2024-04.01. I think Ms. O'Brien has this for us.
Mayor, council, a lot of this budget amendment is what we talked about last month with the total loss of police vehicles. It adds $2,455 for a separate vehicle accident and $17,935 for the total loss vehicle. And both of those went to the PD, and $3,027 went to the fire department for some damage to the garage door. The fire department amount and the small amount for the PD are offset by insurance. The remaining amounts in the police department are offset as follows. Insurance of $19,275, surplus property sales of $7,660, and a loan addition of $44,000. We're also reducing contingency by $3,913. The amendment also adds $7,492 to wastewater for some tropical storm damages. And this is also offset by insurance.
Questions from council? No question. I entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve budget amendment 2024-04.01.
Here, second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimous. Thank you, guys. Item number 6, GovWell Planning and Inspection Software Contract. I think Mr. Grace has this one also.
Yes, sir. This is the GovWell Planning Inspection Software Contract. The action requested is I want the contract to be reviewed so we can get it signed and implemented. So that way if we go to the city attorney, we can move forward with that. The planning department's already budgeted $16,000 for these services. And staff recommends city attorney review the contract. So we can have it signed. And if there's any corrections, that we can make them before they're signed.
Okay. Council have any questions of Mr. Gray?
I'm just looking forward to seeing this being implemented.
Council Gray? No. Okay. Any questions?
Is this what we talked about during budget? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
If y'all don't mind, I'd rather you approve it
Okay.
contingent on the attorney's approval.
Okay.
And designate signing authority as well, if it's not gonna be signed by the mayor or the city manager.
Okay,
Mr. Grace's name is on the contract,
okay,
on the signature.
okay, so I'll entertain a motion to approve with, recommendation, city attorney review the contract and, sign the contract with the corrections needed. Is that correct?
Well, or Mr. Grace to have authority to sign it upon my review.
Okay, all right, with Mr. Grace having authority.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Madam President. Now, here's a
Second.
Michael, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried unanimous. Thank you. Number 7, City of King 2035 comp plan contract. Yes, ma'am.
Can I have a verbal vote on that?
Okay, verbal vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimous. Okay. Number 7, City of King 2035 comp plan contract. I think, Mr. Grace, you're on the hot seat again.
Yes, sir. This is the City of King 2035 comp plan. The plan department budgeted $25,000 for the first phase of the contract. It'll be the City of King 2035 Phase 1. And when it comes down to it, if you want to change the name, we can change the name of it. But that way, I want the city attorney to review the contract so that we can make any corrections and have it signed, so we can move forward with pulling our stuff out of the Stokes 2035 plan. And this is the same thing we talked about in the spring.
Council, have any questions?
So, Mr. Mayor, who's signing this for the city?
It's whomever would ordinarily sign a contract for the city,
Who is that, Scott?
be Scott.
Okay.
I have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a completion date?
For the 2035 plan? No, but I'm under the understanding it'll take a year.
A year?
Yes, sir.
We currently have a 2035 plan, which is about a decade old. It's 2035 feels a little short-sighted to me. Should this not be a 2045 plan, maybe?
I can have that changed. We're gonna change that for the 2045 plan.
Yeah, or 2055 or 2050. It feels too close to me that we should be thinking out further than 10 years from now.
It could get confusing, to someone
We'll
who's
go with the 2045 plan?
Would you like to see 2045 as opposed to 35?
Yes.
Okay, council, would you like the 2045?
I would.
2050?
Or Scott's actually proposing 2050.
2050.
I think that would.
whatever city manager proposes.
Okay, city manager proposing 2050. Is that okay with council?
Yes.
I feel like we need to look a little further down the road. So that would be great.
Okay, all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that carries unanimous. So now I'll entertain a motion on this, change that to 2050. I'll entertain a motion for the City of King 2050 comp plan. Staff recommends the city attorney to review the contract and the city manager to be able to sign off on it.
So move.
Okay. Lane,
Second.
second. Mrs. Cole, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimous. Thank you. Okay, number 8 is approval to enter into contract for the purchase of land for a future second fire station. Excuse me. I think Chief Robertson has this one.
Mayor, council, and citizens. The fire department has been working for several months on some proposed land for a much-needed second fire station location. We have secured a site, discussed with the landowners, had some meetings, and we have in front of you today, Brad, correct me if I'm using the wrong terminology, but we have a contract, for you to, review and, approve, so we can begin.
Let me add, we've also got Forsyth County's permission.
Yeah, I was gonna.
That was gonna be one of my questions.
So, but to add to the backstory of that, the proposed, location is inside of Forsyth County at Spannar Mill Road and Doral Drive, inside the, outside the corporate limits of the city of King, inside the village limits of Tobacco's corporate limits, and inside Forsyth County. We have, met with Forsyth County several times, and they formally approved us to proceed with, entering into contract, for a potential purchase. The contract outlines, most of your standard things, for, property acquisition, and everything for under due diligence, that would need to be done on our part, and including the, offering price. The funding, for the, if everything goes through, the funding would come through the dedicated fund balance that the fire department has set aside, over the years.
Any council have any questions of Chief Robinson?
What has Tobaccoville had any input in this or thoughts?
I know our manager had some informal discussions with their manager, and there was, full support behind that. I've also spoke with the Old Richmond Fire Chief, and they are in full support, of that as well, because they, see it as an added benefit to them, by having quicker automatic and mutual aid response to their areas.
Thank you for your work on this.
Thank you.
Our citizens in Forsyth County portion of our district, once a fire station is constructed, will see, not only, faster response than what they get now, but they'll also see, significant homeowner savings, because they currently, due to our location and their location, live outside the 5-mile insurance district. That, gets them the benefit of having that lower, insurance premium ability. So, but first step's gotta have somewhere to build. Yeah.
I've got one question.
Sure.
Anybody else have any questions? I just wanted to know, have we talked to the adjoining property owners around that?
We have not. The zoning, in talking with the zoning office, Forsyth County, Forsyth County zoning, there is only, out of all the zoning classifications, I know y'all are familiar with them, there's only one, that would limit or prohibit a fire or police station. Every other zoning class, no matter what the property is zoned, a fire or police station can be constructed. They feel it's a vital, element to anywhere one can be constructed. They feel it's vital, so they've approved that. So that was why nothing was needed to be, discussed with adjoining property owners, because there's no rezoning needed.
And I did have the question, did we have approval from Forsyth County Commissioners?
Yeah.
Good deal. Okay. I'll entertain a motion from council at this point.
I make a motion that we have the contract reviewed and signed.
All right.
Second.
This one's already been reviewed.
It has?
Yes.
We
Yeah.
prepared this one, council.
So you said on here you wanted to have the contract reviewed and signed, so you just.
Sorry,
you
he's
want
already
from us.
reviewed it. The contract needs to be approved and signed.
So I make a motion, we approve the contract and sign it.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Thank you, Chief. Thank you.
We got farther along after that.
Thank you. Yes, sir. When I looked at that was one of my first questions, and make sure we had their approval. So we, as Rennie said, we got out in front of our headlights, so I like how he put that. Okay, this is our departmental reports. Does council have any questions or concerns about the departmental reports that they would like to address at this time?
I had one.
Okay, Mr. Lane?
On our wastewater maintenance, I saw it looks like we're about 69% of the budget so far this year. I'm assuming that was just is that like a one-time purchase to get us ahead of things?
That's some of the money pre-construction.
Okay, all right, I want to make sure there. Thank you very much.
Councilman Bowles?
I have a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I really like your sheets that you attach to your, Paula, that you attach to your, information, your report. That's really good, and believe me, she's got a lot going on.
She does.
Yeah, if you look at that calendar, you used to could put it on one page, now it's
Yeah.
like 4 or 5 pages. And saw the write-up in the paper from the county commissioners about you, and we thank you for what you do at King, but also how you represent King all over the county. That's very important. We really appreciate that. So, okay, I'll entertain a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the departmental report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimous. At this point, we will have items of general concern. I'm going to start off with Councilwoman Fowler.
Do we have an update on the pickleball court, or are we with that?
We're still waiting on one bid.
Somebody?
We've got the original guy well, the hurricane messed up his schedule a little bit. He's been back and forth on whether he can do it or not. He's given a new quote, waiting on another quote. I've got like a no bid quote. That's still a valid quote. But I'm still waiting on the third quote. But he said that the last conversation was the hurricane had slowed him down a little bit, but he still may be available before, the original time he told us he could get to it was February. He may still be able to, he's supposed to let me know if he can up his schedule, if he gets caught back up.
You mean February to bid, or February to?
February to construct.
To construct, okay. But we don't know, he hasn't turned in a bid yet, is that?
The third guy hasn't received the third bid yet.
Okay,
We got a local person bidding it too.
okay. And, for one more question,
Yeah.
so did we get successfully get the playground repairs done?
Did you get them all done?
Yes.
You did? Okay, good.
Everything was cleaned up and trimmed, and everything was pressure washed and sanitized.
And the flooring all fixed?
We have not got the flooring fixed. We run into the rain every time we get ready to do it, so, but we have the material here, and wait for a good dry day that we can do it.
Well, that's what I was hoping you were
Yeah,
saying.
we're trying to get that done this week.
Okay. All right, thank you. I don't have anything else I can think of right now.
Councilman Lane?
So I have been working a little bit behind the scenes, something that I would like to see happen, and I know that we've different times discussed, is I would really love to see our downtown power lines go underground in time, and especially after the event Saturday and traffic be shut down. But I think that would be a big deal, and that's something that I am actively trying to pursue to see what we can make happen. So it's just something I'm working on personally.
Thank you for doing that.
Yes, sir. Anything else, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. Councilman Bowles?
The fair was wonderful this year. Got to go for an evening, and it was just wonderful to get to see everybody there, and just a nice. It was great to go visit, and then but I didn't get to make it to King Fest this year. I really wanted to, but I did get to see some pictures, and it was all the talk this morning at work. So all the ones that I work with were got to go and really enjoyed it. So it was a great turnout.
Okay.
First of all, I want to thank Kathy for all she did to make it a successful event. And I want to thank the chief for helping out with some of the volunteer work up at western part of North Carolina. That's a very sad situation, and all we can do is wonderful. We can continue to help.
I'd like to commend the downtown group for Oktoberfest. Thought that went very well. Kathy was running around with that too, and helping things go. You're just everywhere. Like the Energizer Bunny up there. Also, King Fest, we had a couple little glitches there, but I want to thank Ben and Kathy for being up there on Friday night. And we were up there till after dark, working on the parking lot. And also on Saturday morning early, Ricky and Gina and her son Elijah and Jasper, we're up there, and we got the parking lot fixed up by about 1 o'clock on Saturday, so the vendors could come in, and I think it worked very well. And then, of course, Holden helped on Sunday, so Ricky, Gina, and Elijah, and Holden, and Jasper, and all the police officers, and we had a great time, didn't we? It was a beautiful day, everybody I talked to just loved it, having it out there, it was just great. Also, yesterday, as they mentioned, Celebration of Life for Jim Rosman of the American Legion, Post 290. He's really gonna be missed by the city for taking care of that park. We just don't realize what all he'd done. And I know over the years, when we had some young people get in trouble or whatever, and they'd have to do community service, they'd go up there, and Jim was working on Saturdays and having to mow, and probably set a lot of them back on course to where they're good citizens now. He's just gonna be dearly missed. Also, I'd like to thank all of the city employees for what they do. Just ride around, I see our police officers, I see our first responders. I think Chief Boyett's got some of the officers probably will volunteer to go out to the western part of the state. I know we've got some of our firemen that went out, and we've got some more that's going to go. So I actually talked to one of my customers out there, and they saw our truck, and they just said, thank you. So it doesn't go unnoticed from all those people. So when I look around, again, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight, for whatever reason, and you're always welcome. This is your city as much as anybody. So Kent, thank you for what you do for our city also. City Manager, do you have anything you'd like to add?
No, sir.
How about staff? Any staff? Chuck, I know you got a presentation, don't you? No? All right, at this point, I will entertain a motion to go into closed session, for closed session to establish or instruct, staff for agent concerning the possibility of negotiation for the price of lease of terms, contract concerning actualization of real, property per NC General Statute 143.318.11A5, and a closed session for the purpose of discussion of personnel per NC General Statute 143-318.11A6.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Go into closed session 6:53.
Go forward.
Thank you again, everyone, for coming.
understand why they won't turn it on. I mean, her, I don't understand why she won't turn it on. Tell me why, Nicole. Tell me why.
I don't know.
You know, I was told that I was not allowed to buy chairs, right? You know, I was told I was not allowed to buy chairs, right?
No, but I-
And then,
Did she what?
because I asked about, cause I looked these chairs up, and they had like this warranty, like a 7-year warranty. I didn't know that these chairs were so old. I thought they were bought, I thought they weren't as old as they were.
accident, it really was. Really was an accident.
Okay, I'll call us back into session, and it is 8:13. So back into session at 8:13. No action taken in closed session. I will entertain a motion
So moved.
to adjourn. Okay, Mrs. Fowler.
A second.
Second is Mr. Bowles. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Unanimous.
Goodbye.